The universe has been waiting for you for a very long time, my darling. It has been standing quietly at the edge of your thoughts, watching you work so hard to be good enough, watching you wrestle with old worries as though they were still happening today. And the beautiful truth is, you are not damaged, you are not behind, you are not late, you are simply running a very old program that learned to be afraid. When you find yourself overthinking, reacting much too quickly, or always scanning for what might go wrong, it does not mean you are weak. It means that somewhere inside you, a younger part of you decided that constant alertness was the safest way to live. That part of you did not have many tools. It only had fear and tension and self-criticism. Today, we are not going to attack that program. We are not going to declare war on your mind. We are going to sit down with it, with tenderness, and say, "Thank you for helping me survive. Now let me show you a kinder way to live." I want you to imagine yourself as a living piece of software. On the surface, your conscious mind, that bright, thinking 5%, is saying, "I want peace. I want calm. I want to trust life." But beneath that, your subconscious and your body, the other 95%, are still running lines of code written long ago. Be careful. Don't relax. You are not safe if you stop trying. So of course there is a conflict. One voice whispers, "I would love to rest," and another shouts, "If you rest, everything will fall apart." One part of you writes affirmations on the mirror, and another part cancels them out with old sentences you heard as a child. Your subconscious does not care what is logically true. It cares what is familiar. And for many, worry has been familiar for a very long time. Those early messages from parents, from school, from religion, from culture, were like little lines of programming. You must try harder. You are never quite enough. Something bad might happen. They were not the truth of who you are. They were simply the atmosphere you grew up in. Now, as an adult, you have the incredible privilege of choosing again. This is what I mean when I say you can invite the universe into your mind. You are opening the windows in a house that has been closed for years and letting in fresh air. You are allowing a wiser, kinder intelligence to sit at the center of your thinking. The universe does not come in through strain. It does not enter when you bully yourself into being more spiritual. It slips in gently when you create space. When you are clenched and tense and trying to think 10 problems ahead, it is as if you slam the door and push a chair against it. Nothing new can get to you. But when you soften your shoulders, when you feel your feet on the floor, when you take one conscious breath and whisper, "Help me see this differently," you crack that door open. You are not begging, you are allowing. You are the only thinker in your mind, and the moment you are willing to change even one thought, you send a signal to the universe. I am ready to be guided. Stillness is the doorway to this invitation, and I want to make stillness very friendly for you. Stillness is not having a perfectly empty mind. It is not sitting with your legs crossed for an hour, judging every thought that comes. Stillness, the way I use it, is just a pause, a little gap in the old program that says, "Wait, before I react, let me notice." You might catch yourself about to open a familiar door, the door of panic, the door of self-blame, the door of catastrophizing. In that tiny moment, instead of marching inside, you stop at the threshold, place a hand on your heart, and breathe. 10 seconds. That is enough to invite the universe in. In those 10 seconds, you can say, "In this moment, I am willing to choose peace." It does not matter that you chose fear 1,000 times before. We are always working in the present moment. The point of power is always in the present moment. Right here, in this breath, you can give your mind a new instruction. Now, I want to prepare you for something important. Every real change comes with a not quite safe feeling at first. That does not mean the change is wrong. It means you are leaving the old neighborhood in your mind. Your old program has called tension safety for many years. It believes that if it keeps you worried, you will be prepared. And if you are prepared, you cannot be hurt. So when you choose calm, your nervous system may flash all its red lights. Something is off. You're not checking enough. You're not worrying enough. Pay attention. This is the moment when so many people run back to their old patterns and say, "See, peace doesn't work for me. I tried to relax and I felt worse." But darling, that worse is not danger. It is unfamiliarity. You are simply not used to being kind to yourself yet. You are not used to trusting that life can hold you even when you are not on guard. Instead of waiting to feel perfectly confident before you try something new, I want you to adopt a softer, more powerful sentence. I am willing. You may not yet be able to say, "I am completely peaceful," and that is all right. You can say, "I am willing to learn what peace feels like." You may not yet be able to declare, "I trust life fully," but you can breathe and say, "I am willing to trust life a little more today." The universe can do so much with your willingness. Willingness is like cracking a window in a stuffy room. The fresh air will find its way in. Every time you notice yourself sliding back into an old reaction and you gently steer yourself toward a kinder thought, you are rewiring your brain. You are walking a new path in the forest of your mind. At first, that path is narrow and tangled and awkward. You trip, you forget where it is. You go back to the big old highway of fear because it is easy to find. Then, slowly, with practice, the new path becomes clearer. The ground firms beneath your feet. One day, you realize you have been walking it without trying. You catch yourself responding with softness instead of attack, with curiosity instead of blame, with a deep quiet instead of frantic control. This is what inviting the universe into your mind looks like from the inside. It is not fireworks. It is not a sudden overnight makeover where you never have a negative thought again. It is a series of small, loving interruptions in the old program. It is remembering, again and again, I do not have to beat myself up to grow. I can build myself up instead. It is catching the inner critic and saying, I know you are trying to protect me, but I choose a different voice now. It is giving yourself permission to feel strange and even scared while you practice new ways of thinking. And through it all, you are held. Love is the healing power. Love dissolves the old code, not because it shouts at it, but because it makes it unnecessary. When you feel safe inside, you no longer need fear to keep you alert. When you begin to trust that life can support you, you no longer need to live on the edge of panic. Little by little, your mind becomes a softer home, a place where the universe is welcomed, where guidance is heard, and where you can finally rest in the truth. All is well in my world. I am safe. Let me start with a little personal confession, my darling. There was a time in my life when I walked into a room and my words sounded nice, but the energy underneath them was tired, irritated, or frightened. On the outside, I was saying, "Of course I'm fine, and yes, I can do that." But on the inside, my energy was saying, "I'm overwhelmed. I'm not seen. I'm not safe." And people were not responding to the words. They were responding to the vibration behind them. That is when I began to really understand that we don't speak with our mouths first. We speak with our energy. The sentence that leaves your lips is only the last step. Before that, there is a breath, a posture, a feeling in your chest, a tiny decision you make about whether you are going to be gentle or harsh with yourself. So when we talk about inviting the universe into your mind, we are really talking about inviting a softer frequency into the space you live in every day. You don't need to float around glowing and chanting all day. You simply begin by noticing, what am I giving out right now? And is this the energy I want more of? What you give out returns to you. If you give out constant inner criticism, you will attract situations that feel critical. If you give out even a little bit of calm willingness, life can find ways to mirror that calm back to you. I want you to see how powerful your small choices are. Imagine 2 mornings. In the first morning, you open your eyes, and the very first thing you do is grab your phone. Your breath is shallow, your jaw tightens a little, and before your feet have even touched the floor, your nervous system is already racing. News, messages, obligations, comparison. In the second morning, you open your eyes, and before you move your hand, you let yourself take one long, slow breath. Just one. You feel your chest rise and fall. You place your hand on your heart and whisper, "Good morning, my love." Then you choose your very first sentence carefully. You might say, "Today, I am willing to be kind to myself," or "Today, I let it be easier than before." It is the same bedroom, the same phone, the same life, and yet you have just set a completely different frequency. Energy is what you choose before you choose words. So we begin with 3 very small, very practical decisions that you can practice every day. One decision is to breathe before you touch your devices. Just one conscious exhale that says, "I arrive in my body first." Another decision is to choose a sentence that does not wound you. Instead of, "You're already behind," you say, "I'm learning," and that is good enough for today. And a third decision is to offer your body one simple act of respect. A glass of water, a gentle stretch, a moment to roll your shoulders instead of rushing straight into battle. These are not dramatic acts, but your subconscious hears them as new instructions. It hears, We are not starting the day with attack. We are starting the day with care. Now let's talk about focus. Because the way you place your attention is one of the purest ways you invite the universe into your mind. I like to imagine that your awareness is a little glowing ball of light. Wherever you place this ball, that area becomes more alive, more nourished, more real. When you scatter it across 10 worries at once, you feel thin and agitated. When you let it dart from fear to fear, you feel as if your whole life is out of control. Focus, the way I see it, is not a harsh command. It is the gentle art of keeping this ball of light in one place long enough for something to grow. You will not do this perfectly, and you are not meant to. Your mind will wander. That is not a failure. That is the moment when the true practice begins. When you notice that the light has drifted into an old story, an old argument, an old anxiety, you do not shout at it. You simply take it by the hand and say, "Come back here, sweetheart." We do not build ourselves up by beating ourselves up. We build ourselves up by guiding ourselves back again and again with patience. You can practice this ball of light, focus in the smallest, most ordinary activities, and those are usually the most effective places to begin. When you wash the dishes, let this be your training ground. Instead of letting your attention race ahead to the rest of the day, bring the light back to the warm water, the movement of your hands, the sound of the plate against the sink. You are not just washing dishes. You are teaching your mind that it is safe to be here in this moment. When you walk, even if it is just from one room to another, you can let your focus rest on the rhythm of your feet touching the floor, the way your hips move, the air on your skin. 15 seconds of real presence is worth more than 15 minutes of forced, tense meditation where you are scolding yourself. When you work, you can create a small, loving container for your focus. For the next 15 minutes, I will give this task my full attention. After that, I will rest for 1 minute. The universe does not need you to be superhuman. It simply responds when you give your mind a kind, clear structure. Your thoughts are the builders of your life. When you give them a peaceful place to work, they create very different results. One of the most beautiful places to practice this focus is in conversation with the people you love. Many of us are physically present, but mentally absent, halfway in the room, halfway in a worry, halfway in a replay of something that happened years ago. The child is speaking, the partner is sharing, the friend is reaching out, and our little ball of light is lost somewhere in the land of what if and I should have. So I invite you to treat your next conversation as a sacred practice. When someone you love is talking to you, imagine placing that ball of light right in the space between your two hearts. Look into their eyes, not with strain, but with a soft curiosity. Listen all the way to the end of their sentence before you answer. Notice their tone, their breath, the little pauses where they are hoping you will truly hear them. And when, not if, but when your attention drifts, you do exactly what we have been practicing inside your own mind. You come back gently. You do not say, "Oh, you're such a terrible listener." You say, "Ah, there I go again. Come back, my love. Be here. That is why I love the sentence, "We come back gently." It can become a family phrase, a house rule, a new climate in your home. You might say it to your children when they lose focus. "It's all right, darling. We come back gently." You might say it to yourself when you find your thoughts spiraling. You are teaching your whole nervous system that presence is not a punishment. It is a safe place to land. If you are a parent, a caregiver, or simply someone who others look up to, remember that you are teaching with your energy far more than with your lectures. Children do not learn focus because we tell them to pay attention. They learn focus because they grow up in a field where attention is treated as something beautiful, not as a weapon. A single meal with no phones, where everyone takes a moment to breathe and truly taste their food, is more powerful than 100 speeches about concentration. A few minutes each evening where you put your hand on your heart and say out loud, "Today I am grateful for," teaches your child that inner life matters. Even if you do not have children, you are always modeling for the younger parts of yourself, the little boy or girl inside you who used to wait for someone else to say, "You are worth my full attention." Now, you get to be the one who says it. You are not helpless because you have your mind and you can choose how to use it. Each time you choose one breath over panic, one kind sentence over a harsh one moment of real presence over another, scroll through distraction, you are changing the climate of your inner world. So as you practice these lessons about energy and choice, I want you to know that you are doing something very important. You are not just trying a new technique. You are teaching your mind a new way to be alive. You are showing your nervous system that it is safe to slow down. You are building a new habit of focus that says, "I do not have to live in 10 places at once. I am allowed to be here." You are becoming the calm center of your own life, the place where your thoughts can rest and the universe can speak. You are the center of your world, and the ripples go out from you. When you create peace in your own mind, that peace touches every person you talk to, every room you walk into, every decision you make. You may not see it immediately, but it is there, quietly changing things. Remember, my darling, you do not have to do it perfect. You only have to be willing to come back again and again with love. And every time you come back gently, you are rewiring your thoughts for peace. Now that you've begun to notice how your mind wanders and how your energy speaks before your words, it's time to go one layer deeper and gently rewire the program that has been running in the background for so long. Think of your inner language as the code your subconscious reads all day. It does not argue with you. It does not negotiate. It simply follows the commands you repeat with feeling. When you say, "I have to," your whole body hears pressure. When you say, "I choose to," your whole body hears power. When you say, "I'm not enough," your nervous system hears danger and tries to keep you small. When you say, "I'm learning," your nervous system hears movement and possibility. Language is not just sound. Language is instruction. You are giving your mind instructions all day long. And today, you are learning how to change those instructions in the most loving, simple way. I don't want you to be afraid of your old sentences. They are not proof that you are broken. They are proof that you survived. At some point in your life, I must, and I can't, and I'm not good enough were ways your mind tried to keep you safe, to protect you from shame or disappointment. So when you catch an old phrase, we do not attack it. We recognize it. The first step is simply to notice and whisper inside, "Oh, this is an old program." That little moment of awareness already loosens its grip. Then, instead of judging yourself, you place a hand on your heart and say, "Thank you. You have been trying to protect me." You are talking to the part of you that learned to overwork, to worry, to expect the worst. You let it know it is seen, and then, very softly, you add, "Now I choose a new thought." You pick one clear, kind sentence, and you say it 3 times, slowly, with breath. For example, an old program might say, "I'll never get this right." You notice it. "Ah, there you are." You soothe it. "Thank you for trying to keep me safe from failure." And then you replace it. "Now I choose a new thought. I am learning. I am learning. I am learning." The words are simple, but the energy is very different. You are no longer a victim of your thinking. You are a gentle programmer of your own mind. You might like to practice this with one recurring thought that bothers you the most. Perhaps your old code says, "I always mess things up." For a whole week, whenever that thought appears, you do not argue with it and you do not pretend it is true. You simply run your 3-step ritual. Recognize. This is the old story. Reassure. Thank you, story, for trying to keep me from pain. Replace. Now I choose a new thought. I am growing more capable every day, 3 times, with breath, with a little space after each repetition so your body can feel it. Over time, the old sentence becomes quieter, like a song fading in the distance, and the new sentence begins to feel more natural, more believable. Remember, your subconscious does not care how fancy your words are. It cares how often and how lovingly you repeat them. Now let's talk about abundance, because this is the area where so many of our old programs show up. Scarcity in the mind rarely starts with numbers in a bank account. It starts with a habit of expecting not enough. You may find that your inner questions sound like, "What if there isn't enough money? What if there isn't enough time? What if no one chooses me?" That is the voice of a fearful program, not the voice of truth. An abundant mind does not pretend everything is perfect. It simply asks a different question. Instead of, "What if there is not enough?" it asks, "What is my next loving step?" The first question keeps you frozen. The second question moves you gently forward. There is no shortage of good. There is only a shortage of allowing. The universe, to me, is like a vast ocean of possibilities and support. Your thoughts and beliefs are the cup you bring to the shore. You do not need to control the ocean. You only need to be willing to bring a bigger cup. Opening to receive is a skill, my love, and like any skill, it can be practiced. Many of us have learned to block even the smallest forms of goodness. Someone offers a compliment and we push it away. "Oh, it's nothing," or "this old thing." Someone offers help and we immediately say, "No, I'm fine. I'll handle it." Even when we are tired and overwhelmed, inside, a quiet program says, "If I receive, I am selfish. If I receive, I am weak. If I receive, it won't last." So we close the door just as the universe is knocking. Today, we do something very different. When someone offers you a genuine compliment, you pause, you breathe, and you say, "Thank you." And then you let it land in your body. When someone offers help and your first impulse is to refuse, you can ask yourself, what if receiving is also an act of love? You might be giving them the joy of supporting you. You might be showing the little child inside you that it is safe to be cared for. You are worthy of good simply because you exist. You do not have to earn every drop of kindness. I want you to hear these 3 thoughts about the universe and feel them, not just in your mind, but in your chest, in your belly, in your breath. What I need comes at the right time. Even if your personality would like it sooner, there is a wisdom moving behind the scenes. Life supports me in unexpected ways. You do not have to know which person, which opportunity, which moment will open the next door. You only have to be willing to be surprised. And I am safe to receive love, safe to receive rest, safe to receive money, safe to receive understanding. You might want to take one of these sentences each day and repeat it often, especially when the old scarcity program starts asking, "But what if there isn't enough?" You gently answer, "I hear you, and now I choose a new thought." The more you choose these thoughts, the more your actions and your perception begin to change. You start noticing possibilities you never saw before, connections you used to overlook, small blessings that used to slide past you unnoticed. It is not magic. It is a mind that is no longer constantly bracing for lack. To help your new program take root, I'd love to invite you into a simple 7-day practice. Think of it as a little invitation ritual for the universe. Each morning, before you reach for the outside world, give yourself 2 minutes to come home to yourself. Place your hand on your heart and take one long conscious breath. Feel your body rise and fall. Then say, slowly, 3 times, "Life loves me. I am safe." Let the words touch the tender places in you that did not feel loved or safe when you were small. No need to force belief. Just willingness is enough. After that, choose one thing that you will focus on today. Not 10, just 1. It might be, "Today I will bring kindness to my self-talk," or "Today I will complete this one task," or "Today I will treat my body with respect." Write it down if you like. You are not promising perfection. You are simply telling your mind, this is where we point our little ball of light today. During the day, when old worries rise up, and they will, you have a 10-second micro reset. Think of it as a loving interruption. You notice the familiar tension in your chest, the racing thought, the urge to catastrophize. Instead of following it into the maze, you pause and take one long exhale, as if you are sighing out an old story. Then you quietly say to yourself, "I come back to now." Feel your feet, your seat, your hands. Bring your ball of light away from the scary movie in your head and back into your actual present moment. The texture of your clothes, the temperature of the air, the sound of a bird, the hum of traffic. Even for 3 seconds, you are changing the code. You may have to do this many times in a day. That is not failure, that is practice. Each time you return, you are deepening a new neural pathway that says, we do not abandon ourselves to old fear. We come back. And remember, you are the only thinker in your mind. That means you are never as powerless as your old program wants you to believe. In the evening, before you close your eyes, give yourself 1 minute to gently close the day. You might like to ask yourself, when did I return to peace today? Maybe it was one deep breath in the middle of an argument. Maybe it was when you chose to say thank you instead of brushing off a compliment. Maybe it was a moment when you put your hand on your heart and said, we're doing our best. Naming these moments shows your subconscious, this is who we are now. We are someone who comes back to peace. Then you can whisper, I am ready for my new program to run deeper while I sleep. Your subconscious is very receptive at night. It hears every thought you drift off with, and it continues to process while you rest. So let your last thoughts be kind, simple, and consistent. I am loved. I am learning. I am safe to change. As you drift into sleep, imagine that the ball of light in your mind is being gently updated, like a soft, loving software upgrade. As you walk through these 7 days, I want you to remember something important. Peace is not a destination you reach once and for all. Peace is a choice you practice over and over in big moments and tiny ones. It is the choice to breathe instead of react. It is the choice to rephrase a sentence so it supports you instead of attacking you. It is the choice to open your hands a little wider instead of clenching around what you fear losing. Some days, it will feel easy. Other days, your old program will be loud and dramatic and convincing. On those days, you can put your hand on your heart and say, I am willing to choose peace. You do not have to feel peaceful to be willing. You just have to take the next gentle step. Over time, your mind becomes less of a battlefield and more of a home. I love to close with 3 thoughts that can become your daily companion. I am willing to choose peace. Say it when you wake up. Say it when you are afraid. Say it when you have just judged yourself and want to begin again. My mind is a friendly place to live. Even if it has not felt that way in the past, you are turning it into one now with every loving sentence you speak. And I invite the universe into my thoughts. This means you invite wisdom into your reactions, kindness into your self-talk, softness into your decisions. You are no longer thinking all alone in the dark. You are thinking in partnership with a loving, intelligent life that wants to support you. Let these 3 sentences walk beside you this week. Whisper them, write them, breathe them, and know, my darling, that every time you choose even the smallest bit more peace, you are rewiring your mind and opening the door wider for the universe to move through you.